It was late afternoon when a single father, Daniel, noticed a car stranded on the side of the road. A young woman stood helplessly by the hood, clearly unsure what to do. With his daughter Emily in the back seat urging him, Daniel pulled over. He introduced himself politely and offered help. Within minutes, he was checking wires and tightening bolts. Emily peeked out the window with big eyes, fascinated. When the engine roared back to life, relief washed over the woman's face. She smiled warmly at Daniel, thanking him, unaware this meeting would soon change all their lives. As the woman bent down to thank Emily for her patience, the little girl's innocent eyes locked on her. "Can you be my mommy?" she whispered. Daniel froze, utterly speechless, his heart pounding at the unexpected words. The woman blinked, stunned by the child's question, but her expression softened instead of turning away. She stroked Emily's hair gently, telling her she was very sweet. Daniel quickly apologized, explaining his daughter's longing for a mother. Yet in that single moment, something unspoken formed between them, a fragile thread of connection that neither of them could ignore or forget. To show gratitude, the woman, whose name was Claire, insisted on buying Daniel and Emily coffee at a nearby cafe. Though hesitant at first, Daniel agreed, unable to deny Emily's excited clapping. Inside, Claire laughed at Emily's chatter about school and favorite cartoons. Daniel sat quietly, studying Claire's kind demeanor, noticing how easily Emily warmed up to her. For the first time in years, he felt the faint spark of comfort in someone else's company. Claire listened carefully to his few words, and Daniel found himself strangely at ease. Coffee turned into laughter, and laughter into an unexpected evening together. As the evening stretched on, Daniel spoke more than he had intended. He told Claire how his wife left years ago, unable to handle the weight of responsibility. Emily had been just a toddler then, and raising her alone had been both his greatest challenge and blessing. Claire listened quietly, her eyes glistening with empathy. In return, she admitted she had suffered heartbreak too, losing someone she once loved deeply. That mutual vulnerability created a bond neither had anticipated. Emily, sensing the warmth between them, rested her little head on Claire's lap, as though it was the most natural place. In just a few days, Claire seemed woven into their daily rhythm. Emily asked to see her again, tugging Daniel's sleeve insistently. Though cautious, Daniel allowed it. They met at the park, shared ice cream, and even went grocery shopping together. Emily laughed freely, holding Claire's hand, something she hadn't done with anyone but her father. Daniel noticed this bond forming faster than he expected, but he couldn't deny that it brought light back into his daughter's eyes. At night, when Emily whispered, "I like her, Daddy," Daniel lay awake, wondering if he was ready to open his heart again. Despite Claire's kindness, Daniel wrestled with doubts. He remembered the sleepless nights when Emily cried for her absent mother, and he swore never to let her feel that kind of pain again. Every time Emily clung to Claire's hand or called out for her, Daniel's heart tightened. He worried, what if Claire left too? What if this fragile happiness was only temporary? Emily's innocence couldn't bear another heartbreak. So Daniel kept his emotions guarded, smiling politely but holding a wall inside. Yet deep down, he couldn't deny the comfort he felt whenever Claire walked into their lives. One sunny Saturday, Claire joined them at the park. Emily ran between swings and slides, her laughter ringing through the air. She tugged Claire to play tag, and the woman happily joined in, her laughter blending with the child's. Daniel stood watching, a mix of joy and fear battling in his chest. When Emily slipped and almost fell, Claire caught her instantly, hugging her tightly. Overwhelmed with emotion, Emily blurted, "Thank you, Mommy." The world went silent for a moment. Claire's eyes widened. Daniel froze, and Emily, realizing her slip, only clung tighter as if it were true. That night, Daniel sat alone after putting Emily to bed, memories flooding back. He remembered his ex-wife walking away, suitcase in hand, leaving behind shattered promises. The echo of slammed doors still haunted him. He had buried his hope for love under years of duty and fatherhood. Seeing Emily call another woman Mommy reopened that wound. Fear gnawed at him. What if Claire wasn't permanent? What if this ended in another goodbye? As he stared at the quiet house, Daniel realized how fragile happiness was. and how terrified he was of risking it all again. One evening, Claire finally opened up about her past. She told Daniel she once loved a man deeply, but he had been taken from her in a tragic accident. Since then, she carried an emptiness she couldn't fill. Daniel listened in silence, realizing her pain mirrored his own in a different way. Emily, too young to understand, simply hugged Claire's arm as if to comfort her. For the first time, Daniel saw the fragile woman beneath her confident smile. Something shifted between them, not just kindness, but the beginning of trust. Born from shared loss and hidden scars, days turned into weeks, and Claire became a regular part of their lives. She joined them for dinners, helped Emily with homework, and even laughed at Daniel's dry sense of humor. Emily adored her, running into her arms whenever she arrived. For Daniel, the more time he spent with Claire, the harder it became to ignore how natural she felt in their world. He caught himself imagining a future with her, but the thought scared him. Still, he couldn't deny the peace in his daughter's smile. A peace only Claire seemed capable of giving. It felt dangerously close to family. One afternoon, Claire received a call that made her voice tremble. Daniel noticed the change instantly, his protective instincts flaring. Later, she admitted it was from her ex-boyfriend, who wanted to reconnect. Daniel's chest tightened, fearing she might leave them behind. Emily, unaware of the tension, continued playing nearby. Daniel warned Claire gently but firmly that Emily couldn't endure another loss. Claire reassured him she wasn't planning to go back. But Daniel's trust wasn't easy to earn. He struggled between wanting to believe her and protecting his daughter's fragile heart. Old fears whispered that love was never truly safe. One evening, Daniel found a small folded paper on the kitchen table. Emily had written a letter in her uneven handwriting. "Dear Claire, please be my mommy. I love you. Don't go away." His throat tightened as he read the innocent plea. When Claire later saw the letter, tears welled in her eyes. She knelt down, hugging Emily tightly. "I'll always be here for you," she whispered. Daniel, standing at a distance, felt both warmth and fear. His daughter had given her heart completely. And now, the weight of protecting it pressed heavier than ever on Daniel's shoulders. A thunderstorm rolled through town, knocking out the lights. Emily cried, terrified of the thunderclaps shaking the house. Claire was there, wrapping the child in a blanket and singing softly until Emily calmed. Daniel stood in the doorway watching the scene unfold. Something in his chest cracked open, seeing how naturally Claire comforted his daughter. As the rain poured outside, the three of them huddled together in candlelight. For a fleeting moment, it felt like home, a real family gathered against the storm. Daniel didn't say it aloud, but the thought terrified and comforted him all at once. When the town hosted a fall fair, Daniel hesitated, but eventually asked Claire to join them. Together they walked through colorful booths, played games and shared cotton candy. Neighbors who hadn't seen Daniel smile in years nudged each other, whispering. Many mistook them for a married couple, calling Claire his wife in passing. Emily beamed with pride every time, holding both their hands as if to prove it true. Daniel blushed but didn't correct anyone. For the first time in a long while, he enjoyed the illusion of family. Deep inside, he wondered if it really had to be pretend. One evening after Emily had gone to bed, Daniel finally gathered his courage. Sitting across from Claire, he confessed the truth. He cared for her deeply but was terrified of losing her. His voice trembled as he admitted how fragile his trust had become since his wife's departure. Claire listened quietly, her eyes soft with understanding. Instead of pulling away, she reached for his hand. "You're not alone in this," she whispered. Daniel felt a warmth he hadn't known in years. For once, he allowed hope to flicker, hope that maybe love could find him again. Claire spent the night reflecting on Daniel's words. She too was afraid of loss, of attachment, of failing at love again. But as she watched Emily sleep peacefully in her arms, she realized something had changed. This wasn't just about romance, it was about family. In the morning, she told Daniel she wanted to give them a chance. "I don't know where this will lead," she admitted, "but I know it feels right." Relief and joy crossed his face. Emily cheered when she overheard, clapping her hands. For the first time, all three dared to dream together. Just when life felt steady, Claire received a job offer in another city. It was everything she had once dreamed of. Better pay, a new start, freedom. But now it didn't feel like freedom. Daniel, though supportive, grew distant, bracing himself for her departure. Emily overheard part of the conversation and grew unusually quiet, her smile fading. Claire was torn between chasing her career and keeping the family she had begun to love. Nights were sleepless as she weighed her choices. The decision would test not only her loyalty, but also Daniel's fragile trust in love's permanence. When Emily finally learned the truth that Claire might move away, she burst into tears. "Please don't go. Please stay, my mommy," she sobbed, clutching Claire's hands desperately. The sight shattered Claire's heart. Daniel, helpless, stood by, his own eyes stinging. Claire hugged Emily tightly, whispering promises through her own tears. The weight of that small child's love struck deeper than any job offer could. Claire realized Emily had become her world. She wasn't just a friend or a kind stranger anymore, she was family. And walking away from that would mean losing the most important gift she'd ever been given. After days of soul-searching, Claire made her decision. She turned down the job offer, choosing love over ambition. When she told Daniel, his relief was palpable, though he tried to hide it. "Are you sure?" he asked softly. Claire nodded, tears brimming in her eyes. "I've already lost too much. I'm not losing you too." Daniel pulled her into his arms, finally allowing himself to believe in them. Emily ran into the room, wrapping them both in a hug. For the first time in years, the house felt full of laughter, warmth, and something Daniel dared to call joy. Life slowly settled into a new rhythm. Claire moved closer, becoming part of their daily lives. One evening, as they shared dinner together, Emily grinned and announced, "Now I have a mommy and a daddy." Daniel and Claire exchanged a look, both laughing through tears. In that moment, the past no longer haunted them. The future no longer frightened them. They weren't perfect, but together they were whole. Daniel reached for Claire's hand across the table, silently thanking fate for that broken-down car. Emily's wish had come true. A new chapter had begun, a family reborn through love.